Hi, I'm Angela, and today we're going to be talking about two more major scales, the B major and the F major. Now, so far, we've learned 5 major scales. We've learned C major, no sharps, G major, which has 1 sharp, D major, 2 sharps, A major, 3 sharps, and E major with 4 sharps. Now remember, there's this pattern that happens: 0 sharps, 1 sharp, 2 sharps, 3 sharps, 4 sharps. That means the next key we're going to learn today is the key of B, and it's going to have 5 sharps. Now, for a lot of people, 5 sharps seems like a mind-blowing amount, but it's actually really nice because if you look down at the piano keyboard, voila, there are 5 black notes in every octave. So for the key of B, it's actually visually quite simple. All you do is you play every black note that comes along. Isn't that nice? It's hard to think about, but easy to see. Notice again, the B scale is going to be using the same fingering as your C scale, G scale, D scale, etc., etc. However, this pattern changes a bit on the left hand. You'll notice that if you try to play the B scale with your left hand in the normal way, we run into this problem where the thumb is trying to play the F sharp, and it's just really awkward. It makes you feel like you have to reach all the way up here, and then, I don't know, you gotta cross around like this. It's a little bit crazy. So we have a better fingering that we use for the B scale. It looks like this. We start in the left hand with finger 4. And that way our thumb ends up on the E, which is really lovely. Now, you would think we would cross over with finger 3 like we normally do, but if we do, we run out of fingers. So we don't do that. We start with 4, and when it's time to flip, we're going to flip to finger 4. That leaves us enough fingers to play all the way to the top of the scale. So the left hand scale fingering for the B major scale is 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. We don't even use the pinky in this scale. And you may recall, scale fingering is the same on the way up as it is on the way down. So that's 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Be careful when you're trying to put this with hands together because the hands aren't quite used to working together in this way. You might want to go slow, take it easy at first, especially in those moments where we're flipping one hand. It's going to feel a little bit unusual. You might also want to go back and review the fingering for all of your other scales, all your old normal scales, because you'll find that when you start putting the hands together on the B scale, it sometimes messes with your muscle memory on the other scales. So you got to go back and be like, no fingers, this is really what I want for you to do. You got to be strict with them sometimes, otherwise the fingers, they'll just sort of do their own thing. But that's the B scale, 5 sharps, and that's the most sharps that we're going to talk about right now. The other scale we're going to do today is called the F scale. And if you've been paying close attention to this pattern, you may think that the F scale comes after B. It makes perfect sense, right? Because we went from C to G to D to A to E to B. Obviously, F comes next, right? But if you listen to the sound of that F, you may notice, your ear may tell you that something is a little wrong here. Turns out, it's actually F sharp that's next. But as I said, we're not going to get into the F sharp scale today. We'll save that one for another time. F scale comes in a different place. It actually comes, weirdly enough, before C. Because look at this. We have B, 5 sharps, E, 4 sharps, A, 3 sharps, D, 2 sharps, G, 1 sharp, C, 0 sharps, and then F. Right there underneath C. Now, if you're following this pattern, you may be a little bit confused, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. What's after 0? Well, Those of you who are mathematically minded may be thinking that -1 is after 0, and that is totally correct. So key of F has -1 sharps, meaning it has a flat. A flat is the opposite of a sharp. So the key of F has -1 sharps. It has one flat. And the flat that we're going to use for the key of F is a B flat. So the F scale is going to look like this. It's all white notes with just one black key, and that black key is B flat. Now I'm using the left hand here because the left hand F scale is kind of our standard fingering. In fact, a lot of people find the F scale a lot easier to play than, say, the E scale because it's only got one flat. It's really nice, only one black key to worry about. The challenge comes when we're looking at the right hand, because the right hand, if we try to use our standard fingering, we come up against a bit of a hurdle. Once again, it just is really awkward to try to get that thumb onto the B flat. Very wonky. The general rule is that we try to avoid using thumb or pinky on the black keys because those are our two shortest fingers, and the black keys, you'll notice, are shorter. So if we try to reach the thumb to the black key, that's kind of tricky, or the pinky to the black key. We end up with all sorts of shenanigans going on. So instead, the fingering that we're going to use for the right hand of the F scale looks like this. We start with the thumb. We're going to go all the way to finger 4. We put finger 4 on the B flat. Then we flip over, 1, 2, 3, and we land on the 4 here. Notice we do not use pinky whatsoever in this scale. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, a lot of people get to the end of this scale and they get a little nervous. They think, surely I shouldn't be ending on a finger 4 on the scale. I got to end on the pinky. And they end up doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Oh no! Pinky. Please don't do that, friends. It's finger 4 at the end of the scale. That is correct. And on the way down, because remember we always use the same fingering on the way up as the way down, it goes 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. So when we're putting hands together, remember left hand is normal on this scale, but right hand is strange. It's not too hard to put together, but it will be unusual because we're so used to playing those normal scale patterns. So with B and with F, you have to be careful because one hand is different. Left hand is different for the B scale and right hand is different for the F scale. So be careful with those guys with their fingering. But now, congratulations, you know 7 of your major scales. That is pretty awesome. That's every white note major scale. And because we've started adding F into the mix, we're going to go into flats soon. We're going to start adding more and more flats. Our next scale, next lesson is going to be 2 flats. Because we're doing that, we're going to start playing our scales in a slightly different order. I recommend starting on B. So we have 5 sharps on B, then 4 sharps for E, 3 for A, 2 for D, 1 for G, 0 for C, and then 1 flat for your F scale. The order of those letters is actually really important, and it's a great one to memorize. B, E, A, D, G, C, F. For a lot of people, that's nice because it spells a word, bead, B-E-A-D, and then you just have to remember G, C, F. However you want to remember that. You can remember greatest common factor is a math term some of you may be familiar with, or you can make up something silly like, I don't know, gorillas cannot fly or something like that. Whatever GCF acronym floats your boat. So BEADGCF, I highly recommend learning that order and being able to rattle it off. And then you can play all your scales, all 7 of them, like this. You'll start with B. Remember, B has a strange left hand with finger 4. All 5 sharps. Then you go to E, which has 4 sharps. Then you go to A, 3 sharps. And then you go to D, 2 sharps. Then G, 1 sharp. And C, this strange right hand where we end with finger 4. That's it for our white note major scales. You know all 7 of them. Next lesson, we're going to be taking a look at what I call the dark side scales, the ones that start on a black note. Be thinking about which scale you think might come first. Hint, it's going to have 2 flats, and it follows the same pattern. B, E, A, D, G, C, F. What's after that? I'll show you in the next lesson. See you then.